It's astonishing to see the destruction Mother Nature can cause. How could this happen in my town? The place where I have lived my entire life, Naples, Florida, is a beautiful place. Some even call it their own personal paradise. For me, this is home, and on one beautiful cloudless Tuesday morning in September, my home was threatened by Mother Nature. Hurricane Irma was lingering in the Gulf, and meteorologists were warning citizens of South Florida to prepare themselves for the storm. I had received texts from my mom saying the storm is going to be bad. Do you want to leave? I replied to her and said, no, I'm fine. These storms always miss us. That afternoon, I went to the local Publix. There was no water, and almost all the food was picked over. That was when I started to worry. I thought to myself, maybe I should leave. I had friends and family who were driving to Nashville or Atlanta or anywhere that was north of Naples. I could have gone with them, but instead, after what I thought was careful consideration, I decided to stay. The days leading up to the hurricane were boring. Places were shutting down, people were leaving, and there was less and less food every day. I would constantly watch the local grocery store websites to see when they would stock up on food and water. Luckily, my parents decided to leave. They were nice enough to give me the food they had bought for themselves. Keep in mind, it was peanut butter, jelly, bread, chips, and some other things because that was the food that would hold up well without power and Gatorade because there was limited water. I'd not properly prepared because I did not think the storm was going to be bad. Boy, was I wrong. The day before the hurricane, I boarded up my house and moved a little inland because police were coming door to door to evacuate anyone who was close to the ocean. The police were warning residents close to the beach of the storm surge. When the storm surge comes into play, I knew I had to pack up my belongings and leave. Instead of being 2 blocks away from the beach, I moved about 10 miles inland. It was stressful trying to pack my whole life and move inland in a matter of a day. However, I was able to do it. I thought the more inland I got, the better I would be. I had food, I had water, I had flashlights, I had a generator, and I had a hand crank radio. In my head, I was set for what was supposed to be the worst hurricane to hit southwest Florida in years. There is a reason why people say it's the calm before the storm. The hours leading up to when the hurricane was supposed to hit were calm because I knew the worst was yet to come. The hurricane itself was an amazing and terrifying experience to live through. It was amazing to see the strength of the winds bending the trees in half. It was terrifying to know these trees could come crashing down around me at any time. The feeling of amazing and terrifying felt like I wanted to hide my face in a pillow and not look, but in reality, I could not take my eyes off of what was happening outside. When the eye of the hurricane was hitting, it sounded like a train was going straight through my living room I was sitting in. It looked like the end of the world was coming. In the house, it smelled of suspense. My friends were all silent. I was silent, and I couldn't help but wonder what we were all thinking. After the eye of the hurricane hit, I decided to go outside to see what kind of destruction had hit my town. When I walked outside, trees were down, water was filling up the streets, debris was everywhere, and I knew the worst was yet to come. Newscasters said, don't go outside in the eye of the storm. But if I didn't listen to them when they told me to prepare and evacuate, do you think I would listen to them when they tell me to not go out in the eye? After the hurricane hit, there was so much damage it was hard to distinguish where I was. The roads were covered with trees and water, there was no power, and there was a strict mandatory curfew set in place. Naples looked like a ghost town. After all was said and done, I survived. Minus a few trees taken from my yard, I came back to everything I had left and everything I had thought would be gone from the storm surges. I got lucky, and the back end of the storm broke off, which led to less and less likely chance there would be a storm surge. I was only without power for a few hours, which was the highlight of this whole experience. I lived through one of the worst hurricanes to hit this part of Florida in years, and I can say I will not risk staying during another natural disaster ever again.